my God, everybody. Welcome to the Heavy Leather Topless Dance Party. Haven't seen our show before. It's a little rock and roll dance party that we put on for you every week. Let me introduce everybody. To my right, there she is, everybody. It's America's showgirl, Elsa Riot.
Yeah!
To my left is nobody.
Yeah!
There's usually somebody.
The chachi to my
Where has
fawn,
she
Stacy
gone?
DC, is missing. So if anybody wants to come and fill the Stacy-sized void on the side of the couch, come on down. You got an
I
hour.
don't know if there is any filling that void. She's irreplaceable.
Look, it's a lonely microphone, and
It is lonely.
over to the
What are you gonna do?
to my other left. There they are. It's the kings of the nighttime world. It's the Black Leather Lagoon. What a show for you tonight. We're very excited. It's the debut. It's the television debut, everybody, of the incredible Shake is going to play for us tonight.
Yeah!
Take a look at Shake. There's one. There's one of Shake.
Half of Shake, half a Shake.
There's another. There's some more Shake somewhere out there. By the way, you might recognize. Can we show that? You might recognize that Shake right there.
Familiar.
It's Roxy,
Wait a
everybody.
minute. She's usually behind the camera.
That's exactly right, Elsa. That's exactly right. A little peek. Also, funny lady Colleen Genevieve is going to make us laugh. I'm assuming. I don't know. She doesn't seem to be here yet, but she'll probably show up by.
I think it's like if you believe they'll show up. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. And a little burlesque from Natalie. Sorrie. She's here too. It's gonna be. She's playing with the Black Leather Lagoon. And before we even continue, let's talk a little bit about the Black Leather Lagoon because something very exciting is happening, and it is this. We'll talk more about it later on. But the Black Leather Lagoon this week, this Friday, whatever that date is. Chris, what's the date?
The 24th of August, my friend.
Friday, August 24th, what's going to happen is this band is going to, let's see that band again, Black Leather Lagoon. They're going to slither off of your television and into your face when they play live for the first time at in my hometown, Salem, Massachusetts, at Opus. It's going to be incredible.
It's going to be awesome, man.
It's going to be incredible. How you guys feeling about it? It's a pretty exciting thing, right?
Totally stoked.
Let me ask you this.
Totally stoned. Totally stoned. Stoked.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Maybe you haven't worked it out yet, but a lot of times bands, they have some sort of ritual that they do before they go out on stage.
Yeah.
Have you guys worked that out yet? Like what the Black Leather Lagoon ritual is going to be?
Probably getting ripped up. It's kind
Yeah.
of
Okay.
our ritual already.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Brimstone. That's what I'm saying.
Some chaos magic.
We'll say some sushi.
I remember reading an interview with this death metal band in the 80s, and they were saying, we are so evil, this is what we do before we play. We boil a whole spaghetti pot full of water, and then we throw it in each other's face before the show. That's what they do.
How many shows did they play?
I don't know. I mean, that's dangerous to do, but that's
Those
the way.
interpersonal relationships must be a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying that everybody has a little pre-show ritual. Do you have any?
I'd say
Elsa?
don't do that one.
No, don't do that one. Just figure out one that
Note
works
to self.
for you. Also, you have any pre-show rituals that you do?
Yes, imbibing.
Okay, imbibing. Okay, all right.
Getting into
I'm
character.
basic.
Yeah, all right. All right, well, good. So it's going to happen this Friday, August 24th at Opus Underground. That's a sushi bar. It's downstairs. It's a beautiful venue. You're really going to have a great time. There's a bunch of other bands playing. We'll talk about it later. But that's for later. Right now, everybody, it's time for some rock and roll. You're going to love this band. They're going to rock your socks off. And they are Shake, everybody!
Yeah!
that's true. She said I would. I don't know if I believe you. I would do what you tell me to. She said I would do what you tell me to. I would do what you tell me to. I'll do it my way, do it my way. I would do what you tell me to. I would do what you tell me to. I would do what you tell me to. I'll do it my way, do it my way. Go! Dedicate that song to the Cheer Slits. This next one's the first song we ever wrote. It's called New Fast Automatic. We keep it in a set like the Iron Sheik, break our back, keep us humble. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4! New fast automatic, new fast automatic, new fast automatic. Thank you. Yeah, we've got a medley for you. Some of our greatest hits. These are off our first record, way back in 2003. This is Two Squirrels Fighting in a Trash Can. That's the name of the song. It's a true story. Shake, everybody, shake! Let's hear it for him. All right, Shake, come on over here, and we'll shake it out. We'll shake out what you need to know about this exciting new band, Boston's newest hit makers. I like to call them. Shake. Somebody go over on this side. Somebody go over on this side. There you go.
I don't know
if I can fill
See if you
Stacy's
can, you see
void.
if you can
Oh,
fill
that
Stacy's
sounded
void.
so
you can for
wrong.
now.
There you go.
Stacy, I'll fill
You've
your
just been
void
eyeballing that
anytime.
spot for so long.
So look, it's Roxy. You might recognize her as a director of photography, and then there's Mikey Shake over there.
Howdy.
They make up the band Shake. By the way, turns out, little behind the scenes, turns out that the Shakes, who are a couple, actually met on the set of a public access television
This
show.
is true,
Isn't
Ken.
that-
So adorable.
Way
I was
back
the
in the
musical
19
guest. It was the 90s. We
Here
were all
on-
hopped up on ecstasy. It was a whole
Yeah.
thing.
Tell us about how that all went down.
The night we met?
Yeah.
Well, I got booked on this terrible show. This guy.
This terrible show?
No, this is just the best show on TV, Ken.
Okay.
Oh, this was like a million
Oh my
years
God!
ago.
Yeah, this was 1999. Some guys, I was 16. Some guy said, "Hey man, you want to be on TV, play some music?" And I was like, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
do."
Okay.
I go to the station. The first words I said to that lady at the end of the couch were, "Can you show me where the bathroom is?"
Right.
That
yeah,
was me.
She never lets me forget that. Yeah, what other lady at the end of the couch? But yeah,
Did you,
she called in, gave her thoughts on extraterrestrials, and
Yeah.
here we are.
He shocked himself on the microphone that
Yeah,
night.
actually, that was I took a whole bunch of volts through the mouth that night. And it's
Yeah,
on
I've seen that
videotape.
before. That looks pretty exciting. Tell me how that happens, and how do you deal with it?
I didn't. Luckily, I was playing Elvis Costello's Watching the Detectives,
Okay.
so nobody
all right,
noticed.
All right.
It never happened to me before. It was like my brain went blank.
Yeah. And then
So yeah, I was just. But luckily, I was.
but you kept going.
I kept going. The song is rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
Like, we
That's
don't-
the way-
we're no good, but we don't screw around.
That's the way you got to
You're
do
good.
it.
Much
As-
like how my hi-hats completely abandoned their purpose.
Oh.
You just keep going.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what's going on.
as a married couple in a rock and roll band,
Yeah.
And there's only two of you. So how does the power structure work here?
Oh, it's like Fleetwood Mac.
He does all
Everybody's sleeping with everybody. Piles of cocaine.
Like who can fire who in this band? How would that go down?
I'll tell you, she runs this band.
Okay.
I wanted an AC/DC drummer. Anything interesting we play comes from her.
Yeah.
And bass. So drummers are hard to find, man. But guitarists, we're a dime a dozen.
I
Like,
just learned how to do a rock beat this year.
yeah, she doesn't have
Standard
time for
one.
that crap.
You do it well.
See, we lived in a little town in Indiana, Ken. Little town, Bloomington, Indiana.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
You guys are from Indiana?
Well, no, we're from Kentucky, but we don't tell people up here that. Everybody's like, "Oh, how's your sister? Nice shoes."
I am wearing shoes.
Yeah, and you're not my sister.
Maybe.
First of all, number one, you're from Kentucky, and secondly, you lived in Indiana.
Yeah, I went to school in Indiana.
I forget about I forget that when you're in Boston, everybody's from someplace else. Because I'm just from here, so I figure everybody else is too. Turns out that's not the case.
True.
These two are transplants.
Now,
So is Elsa, but Elsa's sort of close anyway, right?
Philly.
Philly.
Yeah.
on a show like this, from
You can drive to Philly. You can't. I don't think you can drive to Indiana. I don't.
There's roads. I think.
you
I
can.
think so. I'm not.
I don't recommend it. I don't
There's an
recommend going
ocean
to
somewhere in there too.
Indiana. So Ken, I'll tell you, I grew up
All
in
right,
Spud
here
in
we
the
go.
Midwest, right?
All right.
A show like this.
Yeah.
This is the dream, man.
It is the
You've
dream.
given us the rock and roll dream.
I'm
We-
living the dream.
We
Yeah.
grew up
Yes.
to irritate people in the Midwest. Like, it was just a bunch of wax mustache bowler hat bands with banjos.
Yeah.
That's not rock and roll. They don't
Right.
have fuzz. They don't have drums. We had that. We
Yeah.
thought we want to go somewhere cool. We come to Boston. I never look at this. Look at them.
Yeah, it's
look at
Crazy.
We got
This is
lights and-
magical.
We're
viewers.
yeah, lights,
This is the
cameras,
real deal.
microphones. We
It
got
is
it all.
pretty surreal. Like
Yeah.
you
It
just
is.
being here.
It's pretty
Did
neat.
you guys decide right away when you formed this band that you were gonna call yourself Shake, or were there other? Did you throw out other names?
It came to me the day after we started playing together. I almost
Yeah.
drove off the road. It was the best idea I ever had.
Okay, you go.
It really was. It was, it's violent. It's like a seizure.
and
Yeah.
we love milkshakes.
Yeah, shakes.
Yeah, I love
And
milkshakes too.
shake is a lot cheaper than the premium stuff. If some of y'all know what I'm talking about, you can get a deal on the shake.
Oh, really? Is that a drug reference too?
It might be.
I'm so out of the loop with these drugs, man. I gotta.
Yeah.
We
I
gotta get
with the
hip.
times,
Yeah.
guys.
I guess I gotta get it.
The
We wanna
90s are
become
coming back, baby.
obsolete.
Well, so let's talk about the concept of the band was like, okay, we're gonna play. I guess garage rock is what you wanted
Yeah.
to
Right,
to
just
play.
rock and roll.
Just rock and roll. All right. Throw out like influences. Tell us what this band's supposed to sound like,
Well, I used
and
to
then
have
I'll tell you how close you landed.
I used to have I was telling Chris over there.
Yeah.
I used to have a really cool. We started in 2003. I had a cool list of bands.
Yeah.
Mr. Airplane Man, Cheater Slicks,
Okay.
both
Yeah.
Boston
Yeah.
or kind of Boston, and stuff like the Gories, John Spencer,
Yeah.
Crypt, Estrus Records, 90s. And right after we started, we had all our friends go, "Hey man, there's this great band you got to hear. They're from Detroit. They wear red and white. They're a two-piece." So now we
Right.
just tell people we sound like the first White Stripes record.
I want to say something about Cheater Slicks real quick. In 1993, I had a television show, quite like this show, called Welcome to Weird City over at CCTV in Cambridge. And we had the Cheetah Slicks on. And Cheetah Slicks showed up, and they were really hungover. And then one of them, the main guy, he had like, it was all his dried blood on his head. And it's like, hey man, what happened to your head? And I had this host, Dimitri, who was friends with him, and he said Dimitri hit me in the head with a frying pan.
Oh my God.
Classic.
Hangover
Classic
cure,
Acme.
maybe?
That sounds like a shake story too.
It does.
There was never really any explanation beyond that, because nobody really
Do
had.
you need one?
Nobody
I
really
guess?
had an
That's Looney
answer
Tunes.
for
It's
it.
Classic.
But that's what happened. I like the Cheetah Slicks because they reminded me of just like guys that were always like 10 days late with the rent. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like guys that were always in trouble,
like
but
us.
the trouble was caused by themselves. They did it to themselves.
That's what we love. We didn't want mandolins and folk songs.
Right.
We want fuzz pedals and no cymbals and drums and people getting in trouble. That's rock and roll.
You can see you got a song about squirrels. Tell us about the squirrel song that you played.
We saw two squirrels fighting in a trash can.
We literally were walking
Yeah.
down the street in a suburb of Chicago.
Yeah.
And
Oak
walked
Park
past
for you Chicago viewers.
a garbage can that started shaking violently.
Yeah.
It was one of the big ones
Yeah.
too.
We both went, hey, shake.
We looked down and we're like, what the hell is going on? And suddenly, literally one squirrel flies out and runs off. I'm like, what's going on in there? I look in, another one flies off and runs out. So it
Was there a clear winner?
Is there ever in a squirrel fight?
They disappeared so fast. I have no idea where they.
All right.
I think we were the winners ultimately.
Yeah, we got to see it. We're winners.
You know what? Can I say something about squirrels? I don't want to get too educational here.
Okay.
Lay it on us,
Please,
Ken.
let's not.
But
Let's keep this lowbrow.
squirrels during the sort of industrial revolution, when they started building factories and stuff, what was happening, people were getting depressed because they weren't seeing any nature, because they were all working and they living in the city and they were working in the factories and they weren't seeing any nature. So they decided they got to build parks in the middle of all the cities, which you get Boston Common, or what's the one in New York? What's the big one in New York?
Central Park?
Central Park, exactly. Central Park was the first one. They were like, we got to get some nature in the park. So squirrels used to live in the woods. And they go, you know what? People would be amused by squirrels. So they put squirrels in the parks just to amuse people. True story. That's how we got squirrels now, just to amuse people.
And thank
So,
them.
In the beginning, squirrels would come out and people would feed the squirrels and stuff, and the squirrels would interact with people. They figured out that it's not a good idea to interact with people later on. But in the beginning, 100% squirrels are here just to make us laugh. That's the only reason that you
I
even
guess
see
they're
them.
succeeding then if they're fighting in trash cans. for
People
our
love
amusement.
squirrels.
We're laughing at them right now.
Right.
Yeah.
They definitely achieve their goal. They're the best squirrels.
Shout out to the squirrel.
Hats
Yeah.
off to the squirrels.
Wow.
And to whoever had the idea to
Yeah.
give us, because they could have gave us snakes. Who knows what they could have given us?
Just a Boston Common full of
fuzzy
snakes.
snakes.
Kangaroos. What if they put kangaroos in the parks?
I
Fill
don't
the
think you
parks
get
with
drop kicked
snakes.
all the time.
Right,
Big
exactly. So-
spiders.
Tarantulas.
They made the right choice, everybody.
And now you can put that little EI thing up in the corner of the screen.
Educational and informational.
These guys, the shakes, they're always brewing something. Something's always brewing. They also have, you guys have your variety shows,
Yes,
right?
That is
random
correct.
variety.
It's called Random Variety. I'm assuming because you never know what's
Correct.
gonna happen.
And it's a little redundant.
Yeah, we like that.
Usually variety is pretty random.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. There you go.
Good.
Gotcha. I like that.
Give us some idea of some of the things you might see at a random variety show.
Stand-up comedy,
As,
burlesque.
as a burlesque performer, I always try to include at least 2 to 3 burlesque numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Burlesque numbers.
Bands, we like to have bands. We Reverend
Ray.
We had
Yeah, with
Reverend
the
Ray
Mother
play
Flower.
recently.
Yeah,
That was good stuff.
Yep.
But
But
yeah, musicians, we had Will Ruse, Mickey PG, both doing kind of, I don't want to call them comedic songs, but fun,
Okay.
lighter stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've performed with random
Yep.
variety.
Yeah.
We love Elsa.
Oh, you have?
Elsa's
Wow,
one
the
of our
illustrious
Elsa.
Elsa
Such a
Ray.
good time. These two put on such a show.
We try
It's all
to
the
usually
talent.
have some kind. Yeah,
That's right.
Oh my
absolutely.
God, Giovanni!
Who's who?
We love having Johnny and the Somerville Strongman on together.
Oh, yeah.
That's very fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
No,
So,
it's
yeah.
a trip. It's almost as good as something like this, Ken.
Do you ever reject anybody because they're just not good enough? They just didn't make the cut.
Nobody's ever. No, actually, no.
Oh my God.
I mean, we love meeting new people, working with people who might not, if somebody hadn't got a foothold, we like their stuff. Hey,
I think
All
the
right,
only
give 'em a
time
shot.
that we did have to pass on someone was because they were playing a show too close to ours, and
Yeah.
the other people were like, we don't want that happening. So
What about how you guys feel about magicians?
I'd love to have a magician,
I
but
don't
we
trust
are,
them.
We
Thank
are
you.
shoestring
There's nothing
budget, and I don't
malevolent
think I can
about it.
afford one of them.
There are people who train in how to trick you, Ken. Like, what else are they up to?
I love magicians.
It's a funny thing.
Like, what?
I love magicians, but I always, and I never went this route, but I always thought, probably a good way to get girls, magic. And
Oh,
it turns
yeah.
out that is not the case
Opposite.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
It turns out most girls hate magic. They don't like it when you're doing magic
That's
tricks.
so weird.
Yeah. And
Angel.
whenever I've
That's a
seen
babe.
guys try out magic on women in bars, the women that are totally amazed by it are maybe not the women I want to be going after. They have a creepy, like, show me more. Show me more of your magic. And it's like, wow, it was a coin trick, lady.
How about, let me ask you one more. Another one that I'm also a big fan of, ventriloquism. Would you have ventriloquists on your show?
Chris has a very, very visceral reaction to
The scariest
ventriloquists.
people in the world.
Would the ventriloquist be doing ventriloquism?
Yes,
I would
absolutely.
assume.
All
If
right.
I really had my druthers on this show, we'd have ventriloquists every
Yeah,
week.
we still haven't found one.
We still haven't. There's
Elsa,
no more
just put your hand
ventriloquists
behind my
out there.
back. I'll stand up real straight.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm Elsa Ryan.
You gotta make that freaky like face, like.
I cannot get enough
That uncanny valley shit.
of ventriloquists. So if you found any, let me know.
I love bad
Yeah.
ventriloquists.
Whatever do you
Like
mean?
that are
right?
bad
If it was a
on
bad
purpose.
ventriloquist, I would totally be all
I think
about
that
that.
shit's hilarious.
No, if we get a
when they
ventriloquist, we're
drink the
sending
water
you
and
away.
the dummy keeps talking, it's incredible.
It's like magic. It's something that when you see it, you're like, wow, that's cool. But it's like, hey, Mike, you want to go see an hour and a half of magic? No, I'm good.
Stacey DC's not here right now, but once she was dating a comedian, and she was like, let's go. I want you to meet this guy. It was the first like boyfriend that she wanted me to meet. So I go, okay. He's having a show at the Hong Kong, and I'm like, all right. He's like the MC of the show. All right, we'll go. And it turns out he was the only comedian. The rest of it was all magicians. And it was a whole night of magic. Now, I can take 5 minutes of magic. An hour and a half of magic is too much magic.
That's too much magic.
What kind of tricks?
I don't even want to get into it. It was and there was one guy. No, I don't even have time for it. But I'll talk to you about it afterwards.
I mean,
but
if it was at the Hong Kong, it couldn't be too high end.
it was the
Fireworks?
longest
Doves?
hour and a half of my life. I just want to say that
Yeah,
much.
you need a
fake-
long rest after
That's a
2 hours of
bold
magic.
statement.
The fake hand stab thing.
Anyway, the point is, here's the point. They have an incredible band, Shake. We're gonna hear some more of them. They also have
you.
Random Variety, and we love Roxy, and Mikey seems okay too. You know,
He's
what the
all
hell?
right.
That's a seal
Love
of
'em
approval
both.
as far
All
as
right,
I'm concerned.
Back over there. We'll have a little more.
Yeah!
A little bit. But first, everybody, you know how this works. We have some. Go on, Roxy. You can go. Just pass right by. There you
It's
go.
casual here.
You know how we do it on the show. We have some rock and roll, and then we have some laughs. And we are very excited to have this next performer. She's one of the funniest ladies in town. And here she is, everybody. It's Colleen Genevieve!
Hey, yeah. Oh man, it's so easy to size people up nowadays, right? Like me, I look like a blogger. Yeah, I look like a feminist blogger from whydoweneedmen.org. I get it. Like, I've definitely written a play about my period. Definitely have. This face screams, I voted for Hillary in the primaries. And this outfit says, I own more than one cat. Mitzi and Benedict are doing great. Thank you so much for asking. I know you were worried. You were like, did they eat? Did you eat? You're so thin. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not a blogger. I am a feminist. Hold your applause. I'm no hero. I am a feminist, but casually, because I still want to get laid tonight by a man, not by like a non-binary Xandu mythical elf from Bushwick, Brooklyn, you know? You need to know what direction you're going in life before you come in me. That's just a fun thing I put on my Bumble. For me, a casual feminist means this. Like, I want to uplift the women around me to be the best that they can be. I don't want to lift my own luggage. I'm just so tired from all your mansplaining. Oh, my dainty women arms can't do it. I want to be able to truly choose what happens to my own body, but boss me around and choke me. Very casual. Now, I actually tried to hook up with someone recently. I thought we had a connection. He was drunk and I'm desperate. So I invite him back to my place. Candles are lit. Maxwell's playing. Things are progressing. He stops me and says, well, I don't feel like fucking you, but you can blow me. And all I could think of was, well, mama, a dick for me to suck? You shouldn't have. Christmas came early. I know you won't. It's like, how long can I metaphorically choke on your penis? It's so hard. No, it's not, Steve. No one's getting whiplash today. And I love it when a dude comes quick. I really do. I feel so complimented. He could be the fattest slob on the face of the earth. But if he nuts fast, I get to go home and say, see, Dad, I am pretty. Really great to prove your father wrong in life. I don't know. It's fun. I do think one night stands have an expiration date. The last one night stand I had ended up in a 2.5-year relationship with a clown. Yeah, I'm not talking about a wacky guy. I'm talking about his W-2's red clown. And the business of employment was McDonald's. I dated the Ronald McDonald of Houston, Texas. There's one for every state. I don't know if you know that. It's like Santa, but more fucked up. I was in love with him until one day he came home from work and was like, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm breaking up with you. He dumped me. And I'm not saying I'm a supermodel, but I'm a clown's 8. Oh my goodness. A lot of people like to ask, they're like, did you guys ever? And it's like, I know what they're asking. They're asking if we ever fucked in the makeup, and like, duh. But I like to make them ask the question. And if they don't, I'll throw out something crazy. If they're like, did you guys ever be like, use balloon animals as dildos? Oh my God, no. What's wrong with you? I mean, we had pretty standard sex for what it was, a clown, but the only thing that was pretty crazy is like, if he couldn't like finish, I'd say pull up to my second window, and that get the mac sauce out real fast. All right, thank you guys so much.
Colleen and Genevieve, come on over here, pal. Hey, Rui, our 14-year-old intern, if you could, I spilled water all over here. If we could if we could clean it up a little bit so we don't electrocute anybody, or thank you, sir. There he goes. It's Rui, everybody. Hey, Colleen, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Boy, that was really funny. Hey, first of all, I want to congratulate you on a really fancy name. Colleen Genevieve is a fancy name, isn't it?
Yes.
I feel
it's
like
two fancy first names.
Exactly. I feel like finger sandwiches are going to show up or something when I hear.
Oh, I hope so.
I'm
Colleen
a classy
Genevieve.
lady.
Yeah, you definitely are. Are you from Texas? Is that?
No, so I'm actually from Rhode Island, but I moved to Houston for the
Wow.
clown.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
No, he's real.
So you met the clown in Rhode Island. He wasn't.
I met the clown at a rave that I was throwing.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's you can't even back up from this story. This just keeps going.
No, I used to work for a rave company called Tight Crew, and we.
So wait a minute. What is a rave company though? What is that?
We throw big raves.
Yeah, I guess I
Okay.
never really thought about it, but you would need a company.
You would
to
need a company,
organize
like all
one
the
of those.
deco and all the
Wow.
DJs and
Okay.
organize it. So we would throw these big raves, and we were throwing a circus-themed New Year's Eve party. And my friend Cupcake, she said I have some clowns that can come and perform, and this clown happened to be from the Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey tour, and so I
So he's
thought
probably a good clown.
he was a good
He's just like a trained.
he's a trained
He
clown.
went to clown school.
And no, that didn't exist once. His dad was a clown and his grandfather was a clown.
Whoa,
This is like a
that's
whole
deep.
family of clowns. And I saw that clown and I was like, I'm going to fuck that clown on
Yeah.
midnight. And then I did. So the rest is history. He got the job as Ronald McDonald 4 months into us dating.
I guess the lesson is it's okay to fuck the clowns, but you shouldn't fall in love with the clowns.
Don't.
Is that where we're at with this?
Yeah.
Damn.
That adds up.
What was it that made you fall in love with the clown?
He was really funny.
Okay.
That's
all
it.
right. Yeah.
Which, I mean, he was a good clown.
So how do you break up with the clown? How does that go?
Well, he dumped
It's got to be
me.
sad and funny at the same
weren't
time,
you
right?
listening, Ken?
What?
She was the dumpy, not the dumper.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, no, I didn't get dumped. I got dumped. I
By the
didn't
clown,
dump
yeah.
him.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's still got to be kind of funny when you're getting.
What would you have said to
Dumped
make
by
it
a
a
clown.
mutual dump? That came out wrong. A mutual breakup.
I'm sorry, I'm not a little boy. Like that was probably
Oh.
that was my. But I just cried. If that's the real
fair.
story, I just cried.
That's understandable.
What a great interview.
Here's
Yeah.
a,
so many twists and turns here.
Here's a post from Facebook. Of yours. I love crying at the gym because if anybody asks, I can lie and say it's sweat.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true
But-
because sweat is also very salty, which just makes your eyes tear up more.
Yeah.
So
But
it's
but I
super
pondered
vital.
it and I thought, why would you cry at the gym? What's the scenario in which you are crying at the gym?
Oh, I think that day I was crying at the gym.
Yep.
I think it was because I bombed at a mic the night before.
Okay.
And then the guy I was sleeping with was like, I don't want to sleep with you anymore. So I was just like, no one wants me.
So you're feeling just rejected and
All types of ways. I
Yeah.
also cry like over like really silly shit too. I'm a big crier. I think it's very cleansing for the soul, and it one day will amount to something in life.
I'm with you.
it's probably fine. Men react to it in a very it seems like if a woman is crying that something really terrible is going on and you have to fix it somehow.
Oh yeah, they snap right to attention.
Oh my God. I've been married for like 17 years. I've only seen my wife cry like 3 times in that 17 years. So every single time I'm like, holy smokes, the world is ending and I got to do something.
Stacey's tough, huh?
But sometimes it's like, nah, I'm just blowing off some steam. It's fine.
That's my first defense mechanism is crying. It really is.
It seems pretty freeing. I'd love to try it sometime.
It's so good.
Have a good shower cry, dude. No one knows you're crying.
Yeah.
Is that's a
Yeah,
good.
dude.
Maybe that's
That's a
a
good
better
point.
It's the
place.
best, dude.
All right,
I
quickly,
cry at the
Treat
gym.
yourself.
quickly, Colleen, name something that was cool when you were younger. It's not cool anymore.
Pokemon.
Wow. Isn't that still cool? I think they had people out chasing them around in the park.
Those are still nerds. They're
Yeah,
still considered
if you're
nerds.
like old, like if you're past a certain age, you gotta
find like real
you gotta find
responsibilities.
another hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, we're out of time now. Are you gonna go now? I'm gonna bring you back in a few minutes because I want to find out what the clown scene is because that must have been a big part of your social circle.
Yeah, it was.
Clowns, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll talk about that in a minute. All right, go. See you later for now. There she goes. It's Colleen Genevieve, everybody. The very funny Colleen Genevieve. We must continue on with the show. We're very excited, also because we have one of the great burlesque performers in town, and she is performing with the Black Leather Lagoon. Here she is, everybody. It's Natalie Sorrie! everybody. Natalie and the Black Bubble Lagoon. Right over, Natalie. Let's talk a little bit. That's the she's got the ropes there. The ropes, everybody.
Show you the rope.
Very impressive.
Show us the ropes. Hey, Natalie, when's the last time you were on TV?
It's been at least a year.
Oh wow, you were on TV a year ago?
Mhm.
What'd you do on TV a year ago?
Did some circus performing, some aerial fabrics, and lyre hoop.
Natalie is also a circus performer. What's your expertise? What is it that you do in the circus?
Mostly aerial silks. So like the two fabrics that hang down from the ceiling, and people kind of like wind up them and wind down like a spider.
What exactly? This is really impressive. I look at it. It looks incredible. It's so graceful. I don't see how you don't fall though.
Oh, that happens.
It does.
You just learn to prevent it and get stronger. Yeah.
You can start not going up too high, so that
Right.
if you fall,
Totally.
you don't break anything. Then when you're not falling off of it, how did you circus? Not everybody gets into the circus. What made you? Did you go to the circus when you were a kid?
No, not at all, actually. So I kept getting injured, and I had some weird burner friends.
Okay.
And they're like, "Hey, I used to do gymnastics. Maybe you should try this."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, I'll try it." And I fell in love with it.
You had burner friends. What does that mean?
Yeah, so like people that go to Burns or like big
the Burning
festivals.
Man.
Yeah, I don't know what that
people.
means.
Burning Man.
I'll educate you.
It's very hip. My burner friends. I mean, what does that mean? Chris, what do you think that meant?
I mean, it's like a whole like culture. Like you go
So you knew it.
Yeah. dude.
I'm out of the loop.
I mean,
Yeah.
No,
Yes,
no.
Ken. Yes. Sorry.
I talk about this on Facebook. I got a new doctor. Went last Friday, met him. His name's Peter Murphy, like the guy from Bauhaus.
why?
So I go,
You want to
it's
start a
like-
goth band?
it's like, hey, I'm Peter Murphy. And I'm like the guy from Bauhaus. You get that a lot? And he goes, from people of a certain demographic. Yes.
So
Like her.
backhanded.
Yeah, he's like a 30-year-old guy, So, and it's now I know how he feels. I don't know what a burner is. So, all right, cool. So you had your burner friends, and then you were like, okay, I'm gonna get into this.
Yeah. Love it. It's super fun.
Were you tumbling and cartwheeling and all that kind of stuff when you were younger?
Oh yeah, totally. I did
Okay.
gymnastics, cheerleading, dance.
Because you look like you have the limbs to cartwheel. I've
Yeah.
never cartwheeled in my life, by the way. I've never tumbled
Me
in my life.
either.
Any of this kind of stuff. You've never cartwheeled either?
No.
I bet you could though.
That's scary.
I can teach you guys.
It is scary.
Oh, you're not kind?
Right
Do you want a
now.
free lesson?
I do. I was telling. I had pie with Natalie, and I was talking about how I went to the Sky Zone once. And the Sky Zone has a thing where you jump into a pit, a foam pit. I don't think it's even possible to get hurt in it. But the whole idea was I wanted to somersault into it, and I couldn't do it. I just kept because I feel like I'm gonna break my neck.
I mean,
It does seem like you're gonna break your neck, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why you
Maybe-
need lessons.
Goes
Yeah,
against
maybe-
all my instincts.
Right. It totally goes against all your
ease your way
instincts.
into it. Like, you got to start big. Like, why don't you do like a little like somersault? Like, put your head on the ground and just like roll a little.
So scared I'm gonna break my neck.
There was this guy, speaking of circuses, because circuses encompass all sorts of acts, right? What's the weirdest circus act you've ever seen?
This girl in Louisville, she would hang like bowling balls from her ears, her earlobes.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
it was crazy, and she would like swing them in this way that they would like the inertia wouldn't actually pull in her earlobes. It would just like get it started, but then something went wrong and she ripped out her earlobe. So that was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah. Oh.
They used to have the Jim Rose Circus Sideshow in the 90s was big. And I don't know if anybody remembers this.
Oh yeah,
This guy
remembers
remembers.
Jim Rose, man.
And those guys would do all kinds of weird stuff. But one of the guys, he would have weights on his penis and he would stretch it
Yeah,
way
as
out.
you do.
And then he would shake it back and forth and it was crazy. And you're like, and it would be like, like
How long did it get?
20 pounds. It was going down. It would go all the way down here. And it'd be like 20 pounds swinging. And you're like, that thing is going to tear right off. But it would never tore off. It was crazy.
Human
and it
body
really
is
showed
resilient,
you
man.
the amazing things that the human body can do. Also, there was this guy. This is in the 70s and 80s. There's this guy, Frank Cannonball, somebody, I forget his last name, but his thing was you would just shoot a cannonball into his stomach, and it was like, how can this guy not die? And he practiced by having people hit him with a sledgehammer in the stomach. So what I'm saying, and by the way, you can think of a better way to make money. You know,
Was he
there's gotta
like
be.
overweight, or did he have a really
He had a little
strong
bit of a belly. He had like that.
abdomen?
He had that like 70s middle-aged guy,
Oh, okay.
barrel-chested kind of, you know,
I see.
that kind of thing.
Stogie chomping.
Right, exactly. He was that kind of guy.
Right,
like he was
right.
out of shape and everything, but he could take a cannonball
Right.
to the
He's
stomach.
out of shape, but you wouldn't mess with them.
No.
Also once I saw some vaudeville thing at the Middle East, and there was a girl who put her whole body through a tennis racket. You ever seen that? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah,
like an
how
empty
your
tennis racket.
shoulders-
Through a tennis racket.
Yeah, I've
I
done
mean, I
that
guess if
before.
you can get your head through, you can get the rest through. But
It's your shoulders that are really wonky.
True.
Gotta like,
yeah.
yeah, strange.
Anyways, these are all incredible things that you can do if you're a circus performer.
Totally.
And by the way, do you know any clowns? Like Colleen's,
Oh, I know a lot of
Colleen's into the
clowns.
whole-
Oh yeah.
Colleen's
City's
into the
full
whole
of 'em.
clown scene. I wonder
Clowns
if you
scare me.
do. You have any clowns at your circus?
No,
Okay.
no, we don't do clowns, thank God.
You only do acrobatic stuff. There's
Yeah.
no clowning
No
around.
Add that to the ventriloquist and crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
That, no bueno.
So, I mean, we need a clown on the show too, then.
No, we don't need any clowns, but we need more. But we need more circus. So that's it. She can teach you. Natalie can teach you how to tumble, how to climb aerial things, everything else. Have you ever had any mishaps?
While teaching,
Or just in general practicing?
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah,
Especially when you practice with other people. Like
Yeah.
if you do duo acrobatics, that's when things get trickier. So this was like maybe 2 months ago. Somebody was holding me by my feet all the way in their hands. So they were standing all the way up with my feet in their hands. And I thought he was going to throw and catch me. And instead he didn't throw. And we like misunderstood each other. And yeah, I fell.
Oh my God!
It was so scary.
Boom, hard landing.
Yeah,
Boom.
yeah.
Fall on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he like kind of twisted, and then I twisted the other way. So my face went into someone's knee. It was either my knee, his
Wow.
knee, instructor's knee. No idea.
What happened? Everybody was okay?
Yeah, everybody was
It was
fine.
just more of a shock than anything else.
Yeah, I've never actually, knock on wood, wherever there's wood, never been injured from circus. Ever.
By the way, it struck me when we were eating pie. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Natalie's like one of the one of the nicest people I've met in a while. And I was like, but nobody's even always that nice. So I was thinking, where does the evil Natalie manifest? Or so, were you like a high school bully or anything?
I actually bullied the people that bullied, like.
You were like some kind of vigilante.
Yes, my
Nice.
brother
Yeah.
is handicapped. Like, he has autism and Down syndrome. So people would pick on him a lot because he's nonverbal.
Right.
So I, picked on them.
Yeah,
because
Aw,
I
okay.
did not like that.
That's so sweet.
So that's still nice,
Yeah.
though. That's still nice.
I'm from the Midwest. We're all nice out there.
Are you from the Midwest, really?
I am, unfortunately.
Another
God.
transplant.
There's so many Midwesterners on this show.
You're like
hey,
alone here.
while we're at it, why don't we get back to a little bit more rock and roll before the show's over? There they are. Some Midwesterners, everybody. Let's shake.
Another song started a little dance craze after we got voted worst band in Indiana. It's called the Trash Stomp. So all you gotta do is lift your feet up, put it down real hard, and then you're doing the trash stomp. And this is written by Commander Beefcakes over down the drums, Roxy Shake. Hit it, Roxy. Yeah! Whoa! 1, 2, 3, 4! It's a monkey! On a lamb! It's a monkey! On a lamb! It's what the drummer said! It's what the drummer said! It's a trash stomp! Trash stomp! Trash stomp! Trash stomp! Monkey! It's a monkey!
Trash! Stop! Trash, trash, all trash.
Fantastic. Well, everybody, it's that part of the show where we do the plugs because, after all, everybody's here for a reason. They want you to go to their shows and buy their products. So we'll bring Shake over here, and we'll bring Colleen over here, and we'll get to all that. Before we do, let me say this: that next week on the show, the heaviest band in town, Panzer Bastard's going to be here. Can I tell you this? If you look over there, that amplifier over there is the tiniest amplifier we've ever had on the show.
It's so cute.
And-
Not in the trash.
and next week we will have the biggest amplifiers I don't think any of us have ever seen. So that'll be
All
fun.
about the extremes.
Also, funny lady Isabella O'Connell is going to be here, and also burlesque from Barb LeVay. That should be something pretty exciting too. So don't miss it. That's all next week. Shake, come on over here, Shake. Let's get to the plugs. Let's find out what everybody's doing. And by the way, you guys probably have a lot to talk about with the circus stuff because you know.
Yeah, clowns, I hear.
Clowns and raves and all that kind of thing. Are you still into the rave scene at all, or what is happening? Is there still a rave scene?
There is still a rave scene. You can still go to parties. I am just focused primarily on stand-up right
Okay,
now.
all right.
Yeah.
Are you ever done any burning? Have you been a burner at all?
Just with weed, but
Okay,
that's
okay.
gonna be it.
Yeah. Burning Man, that's where it's at.
Apparently, no. I went to Camp Bisco, but that
Okay,
wasn't
all right.
that wasn't the
I don't know
same.
what that is. Do you know what Camp Bisco is?
No.
All right.
Bisco,
What
like
is-
the cheese?
What is-
No, like the Disco Biscuits, the
Okay.
old jam band.
All right. Yeah.
Cheez-Its are actually made by Sunshine Company.
There you go.
Oh, is that a Midwest knowledge thing?
That's gotta
No,
be.
I just have a very deep love of Cheez-Its.
The more you know.
What else does Sunshine make?
I think that might be it.
That's enough, isn't it? That seems like plenty.
Insane.
All right, everybody, let's get to the plugs. First of all, to my right, there she is. It's Elsa Ride, everybody. America's showgirl, and she always has a lot going on, and let's find out what she's got cooking for us.
Smoke and Shadows, my monthly burlesque and variety show that defies decade and genre. The next one is on Labor Day, Monday, September 3rd. And we've got belly dance and live music and comedy and some local burlesque, as well as burlesque from both New York City and Portland, Maine. So lots of people from all over the East Coast. It's going to be a cool night. 8 p.m. at the Rockwell. Tickets at elsaride.com.
Incredible, everybody. Have you ever had any clowns on there?
No. I had a pole dancing mime once. That's the most impressive thing I ever had.
I feel like I saw that. I feel like I was there for that.
I think you were.
I think I was there for that.
I think she'll be back.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, it was
it's
great.
well worth seeing. All right, Natalie, let's. How about you? Where are we going to see you next?
Sure. Oh, wow. Two mics.
Whichever one you feel comfortable with.
Cool. So, working on a duo performance with Danny Drake for Duo Aerials, and I'm performing at the next Midway Punk Rockin' Pasty Poppin', second Monday of every month. So that's always happening. And then, sorry guys, performing in the Midwest. So you won't be able to see any of that.
Really? You going to the Midwest to perform?
Yeah, well, actually see family, but every time I go back, I perform too.
Fantastic. So if you're in the Midwest, look out for her. How about Colleen? Where are we gonna see Colleen?
Hi, yeah, I'm actually going to be back in Boston this weekend. I'll be at the Sixth Gear Kitchen and Cask over in Southie, and then I'll be at the okay.
Yeah.
Are you coming to the show?
No, no.
all right, well.
Props to Salty, though.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. That show is at 8. And then I'll be at the Greenbrier Kitchen and Pub. They have a Sunday show as well at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So you can find all of my shows listed on my Instagram, super professional, Colleen Genevieve with an extra E at the end. I
What's
list all
your,
my shows.
What's your when you get hecklers? What do you do? Do you ignore them? Do you engage them? What do you do?
It depends.
Do you cry?
I don't. That's the one time I have not cried on stage. I'm looking forward to my first cry on stage. It's
Yeah.
gonna be great.
I've
It's gonna
cried
be
on
so
stage. It's
magical.
okay.
It's gonna be really great. Nothing
Have you
like a
cried
good
on
cry.
stage?
It was a good cry.
There are good cries.
There are good cries. You wouldn't understand, Ken.
After the show, we're all going to have a good cry together. It's going to be fantastic. What about Shake up there? What's happening with Shake? Let's find out.
Tell him, Thumper.
Oh my! Actually, I don't know our next gig, but
All
we've
right,
got
well,
one.
I'll
We've got one in September at Midway Cafe.
Yeah.
Shake's playing with Max Clark and the Boys Below, Sky Bear, and Steven Shagnon at the Midway Cafe, September 5th. And we are doing a random variety show on Halloween night at the Midway. So you want to come out for that?
And somebody on your couch might also be at that show.
Perhaps. So it's going to be our third year running this random variety at the Midway on Halloween. It's always a good time. There's going to be variety acts, burlesque, a bunch of bands. We're hoping for a secret surprise band, but we can't divulge that yet.
So there you go, everybody. There's a couple of places to. By the way, we're also doing a show on Halloween. You can make both. You can watch us on TV and then go over to the Midway. I'm sure.
Maybe we'll stream it in the Midway basement.
Yeah, it's sure.
There are televisions at the Midway upstairs.
Oh, do you think they go on the internet though? Is the Midway that kind of?
We'll figure that out.
We'll see.
Let's go over there and find out what we can about the Black Leather Lagoon's big show.
Hey, this Friday, you can come see us goons. We're going to be playing some Cramps tunes and talking about some like ghoulish crap. It's going to be awesome. The Egos, Crime Spree, and the Tarantula Brothers. It's going to be wild. Oh, and also,
Yeah, go ahead.
the Gala
Also-
US. Check us out on Deadbeat Records. Ah!
What about you? You got any Radium Girl stuff?
Oh, yeah, actually. Oh, here we go. Radium Girls is going to play as part of the Bust Out Festival happening in the Burren on September 22nd with a bunch of, like, so many awesome bands. I can't even name them all. Crew Miracle, who were here not long ago, and I don't know, so many other people. All the friends. Come and see it.
There you go. Fantastic, everybody. Boy, what a show this has been. It's been really incredible. But now it's over. This is the part of the show where we dance, and there they are, everybody. It's the Black Leather Lagoon!